You didn't tell me you had a fear for rats, Dubois.
I'm an assassin! Why would I share my liabilities?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're pitting 2016's Suicide Squad against its 2021 standalone sequel, The Suicide Squad.
Hey, Boomer.
What are you doing back in prison house?
I got road rage in a bank.
We don't want you here.
Here's to being alive in 3 hours.
A lot of you probably think that the outcome here is a no-brainer, but it's still intriguing to compare two products that are similar in some respects, but completely different in others. We'll keep spoilers to a minimum for The Suicide Squad, but since the other film has been out since 2016, we'll hold nothing back on that front.
Her heart's out! We can end this!
Do you think there's an obvious victor here? Let us know in the comments. Round 1. The Ensemble. Nobody can deny that Margot Robbie was born to play the demented yet lovable Harley Quinn. If there's one thing that Suicide Squad got right, it's her.
Come on, let's go.
Viola Davis was also well cast as Amanda Waller, and Will Smith brings his signature coolness to Deadshot.
Every time I put this on, somebody dies.
And?
I like putting it on.
Captain Boomerang and El Diablo are fun too, but characters like Katana and Killer Croc are just kinda there without delving into why their comic counterparts are popular. Meanwhile, Rick Flag is given the thankless task of awkwardly dumping exposition.
This is Katana. She's got my back. She can cut all you in half with one sword stroke, just like mowing the lawn. I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
Whatever your thoughts on Jared Leto are, the Joker serves little purpose, while Enchantress fails to leave an impression. Harley once again shines in The Suicide Squad, but she's not forced to do all of the heavy lifting.
I love your accent.
American women all love accents.
We do, because we don't got none.
Between Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and Ratcatcher 2, it's hard to pick a favorite squad member. Although we have a soft spot for King Shark.
New dumb friends!
Even Rick is a much funnier and more charming character this time around. The film packs in an assortment of other obscure DC characters, from the Weasel to Polka Dot Man. Even when a character only has a few minutes to shine, nobody feels wasted. Everyone is memorable, whether integral to the plot or part of a throwaway joke. There's a scene in Suicide Squad where El Diablo calls his teammates family, which never felt earned.
I lost one family, I ain't gonna lose another one!
Like, they met that day. In The Suicide Squad, you believe the family bonds, the friendships, and the rivalries that emerge.
Don't you worry, I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
It's a character-driven film, winning this round with flying polka dots. Winner, The Suicide Squad. Round 2. The Action. Having directed End of Watch and Fury, David Ayer has proven his knack for hard-hitting action. Suicide Squad also has its fair share of intense action sequences, when the audience can see what's going on. Being an early DCEU movie, several set pieces are needlessly cloaked in darkness, most notably during the office building fight and climactic showdown. That said, the film is still more colorful than its two predecessors, and occasionally the action can be visually interesting. The highlight is Harley's elevator fight, which finds a solid balance between Ayer's gritty realism and the over-the-top fun that the studio wanted. Harley's elevator scuffle feels like a dress rehearsal compared to her hallway battle, which fully embraces the character's animated personality. Something similar can be said about the other set pieces in The Suicide Squad, which are zanier than a cartoon, yet graphic as a 70s war picture.
Dubois?
As he did with the first two Guardians of the Galaxy films, James Gunn's action sequences are epic in scale, but not afraid to be beyond absurd. Without giving too much away, let's just say that the climax might be the most gloriously bizarre thing we've witnessed since the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man stormed New York.
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
While the action in Suicide Squad isn't dull per se, there's nothing about it that's iconic. The Suicide Squad, on the other hand, is full of bombastic set pieces that we'll never forget. Every action sequence leaps off the screen with comic book imagery and the beautiful madness of James Gunn, taking another round. Winner, The Suicide Squad. Round 3, the comedy. Ayer made it no secret that Suicide Squad isn't the movie that he set out to make, stating, quote, "My soulful drama was beaten into a comedy."
If she can't cut it and her grades start slipping, I need you to white people that thing. You know how y'all do.
This shows in the final product, as much of the humor feels like it was shoehorned in at the last minute to be more like Deadpool. Some of the jokes work, especially when they involve Harley. Overall, though, the humor rarely blends with Ayer's bleak style.
Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Ironically, the Joker is the one character who could have used funnier dialogue. But he's played less like the clown prince of crime and more like a Hot Topic patron trying to be edgy.
I love this guy. He's so intense.
From the moment Gunn signed on for the Suicide Squad, he set out to make an all-out action comedy.
Oh my god, is it a werewolf? I wanted to meet a werewolf forever.
Yo, they turned me into a werewolf? Yo, let me out. I do not a werewolf.
The film encompasses the irreverent humor that we expect from Gunn, but doesn't come at the expense of character development. If anything, most of the humor is character-based, leading to some hilarious running gags involving Polka Dot Man's mommy issues, Bloodsport's fear of rats, and King Shark's limited vocabulary.
Bird.
Now, stay off the comp.
While an R rating doesn't automatically equal a funnier movie, Gunn goes beyond simply littering his film with swear words and violence. The adult content is backed up with wit, creativity, and dead-on timing.
Starfish is a slang term for a butthole. Think there's any connection?
Whereas Suicide Squad was a reluctant black comedy, The Suicide Squad dives headfirst into absurdist territory without ever looking back. With quotable one-liners, visual gags, and rapid-fire jokes that'll leave you coming back for multiple viewings, Gunn's film gets this round's last laugh.
I always hit my targets dead center.
Hit them more in the center.
You can't hit something more in the center?
I use smaller bullets.
Winner, The Suicide Squad. Round 4, the stakes. Despite being called Suicide Squad, you never sense the characters are in any real danger. Having multiple fake-out deaths does not help. Oh no, Deadshot took out Harley? Oh, no. Of course, she's fine.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Well, surely the Joker perished in that helicopter crash. It's not like they're saving him for a surprise ending that comes as a surprise to nobody. Sure, El Diablo sacrifices himself to finish off Incubus, but his death feels weirdly empty. The only other Task Force X members who don't make it are Slipknot, who we all know existed just to die anyway, and we guess the Enchantress. Although June Moon faces no repercussions.
I thought I killed you.
I thought I killed you.
Right off the bat, The Suicide Squad earns the suicide in its title.
So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Well, we consider that term degrading. The official term is Task Force X.
Once again, certain characters are introduced only to immediately die. Unlike Slipknot, though, every Task Force X member sticks with the audience, no matter how little screen time they get. Since it's established up front that almost anyone can die, there's an overarching sense of dread throughout the film.
Did anyone check on where the weasel could swim?
When a character meets their end, we feel genuinely bummed. It's not too much of a bummer, though, as guessing who will survive is part of the fun.
He's an expert in weapons and hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, well, I'm putting 20 on him that he's gonna bite it.
Also, unlike Suicide Squad, the fake-out deaths actually succeed in faking us out. Never afraid to live up to its name, The Suicide Squad raises the stakes, which amplifies the drama and comedy in the process.
It's just suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Yeah.
Another one bites the dust for Gunn's film. Winner, The Suicide Squad. Round 5, the atmosphere and execution. Like some of Zack Snyder's contributions to the DCEU, Suicide Squad has become a textbook example of a movie that got screwed up due to studio interference.
It's taken some work, but I finally have them. The worst of the worst.
We can't say with certainty that the so-called Ayer cut would have been perfect, but we suspect it at least would have been more tonally consistent. Instead, we got a confused hodgepodge that tried to be a kooky comedy, an action extravaganza, a soulful drama, and a prologue to Justice League all at once.
Why, Mr. Wayne?
Just like to make friends.
It never feels like one person's vision, resulting in the cinematic equivalent of an identity crisis. That Oscar-winning makeup is pretty radical, though.
I'm beautiful.
Yeah, you are.
The studio may have learned something from their missteps with Ayer, as Gunn was reportedly given full creative control for the Suicide Squad.
I'm not joining your goddamn Suicide Squad.
Letting an artist run wild with few restrictions doesn't always pay off, but Gunn's style and humor were perfectly tailored for this source material. While Gunn juggles a variety of tones and genres, they all mesh surprisingly well.
You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head.
We don't leave one of our own behind.
You're okay with this?
No, but I've been around Flag when he's got a rag in his mouth. Best not to tuck it.
The film knows what it wants to be. A hard R superhero movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, except when something deeper is called for.
Are you worried? I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
It also succeeds in being one of the funniest comic book movies ever without going into flat-out satirical territory. Gunn had a clear vision, and he got to see it through. Maybe if the studio had stayed out of the editing room, Ayer's film would have been a formidable contender. Judging both films based on their theatrical cuts, though, there's no competition. The Suicide Squad takes this round, and the whole versus in a clean sweep.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
Winner, The Suicide Squad.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.